Hello everybody, this is Michael Stephen Vargas from WeGoChess.com. So, some months ago, I made an article about on WeGoChess.com, the actual website, about the 20-40-40 rule in chess. And what I found is that there's not a lot of people talking about this. It's somewhat fairly specific, and I think it is really important. So I just want to make this quick video about this, which is what is it about? What is the 20-40-40 rule in chess, and why do we need to follow it? It's a studying plan, and why do we need to follow it? What are the advantages and disadvantages of the 20-40-40 rule? 20-40-40 rule. So what is it? So the 20-40-40 rule in chess is basically how much percentage you should spend on every individual pieces in chess, in the amount of time you should study them. So in this rule specifically, you're supposed to only spend 20% of your studying time on the opening, 40% on the middle game, and 40% in the end game. This is for beginners, and I think this is really important. Now you might think, why not spend a lot of time in the opening? I mean, there are 3 phases in chess, so it makes sense that investing equally in all of them should bring about the best possible result, because you're specializing in all the phases that will be involved in the game. This is actually not true if you are a beginner, and so for a variety of reasons. First thing this studying plan will give you is focus. So it is indeed true that there are 3 phases in a chess game. However, it is also true that not all of them are equal in importance. The middle game and the end game is much more important than the opening. And the reason for this is because a bad opening decision can be compensated in the middle game or in the end game, whereas a bad middle game and end game position usually means the end of the game. And usually, there's a lot of diminishing returns with the opening. So as long as you don't fall for any traps, then you are likely doing well in the opening already. Next reason why you should almost definitely follow this plan as a beginner is because it kind of prevents the so-called opening syndrome. So what is the opening syndrome? Which is most beginners will spend so much time, right? Just learning, memorizing basically openings that they won't even get to use. And so, by studying this plan, it's kind of good heads up that you probably shouldn't prioritize openings as much, and you could only focus on the most important thing, which is the end game in the middle game. And the next reason why you probably should follow this plan is because it is time effective. So not everyone can invest every single time of their day to chess. Some of us don't have that much time, and so by following this rule, it ensures that you will get the most amount of progress in the smallest possible amount of time, because you are prioritizing the most important things, which is the middle game and the end game. Now, let's talk about the advantages of the 20-40-40 rule. So, probably the biggest one is efficiency, right? Because the 20-40-40 plan gives some sort of a guide for beginners that really don't know what they need to study. So, they know that they should study, but they don't know what to study. And so, this plan gives them exactly that, and make sure that they are studying the right things for maximum result in minimum time. Next is, when you follow this, there's going to be less memorization. A lot of beginners quit on chess because they figure they have to memorize so many things, right? We don't want that. We don't want you to lose your motivation, because you don't even need to memorize a lot in order to be decent, at least at chess. You need to memorize once you get to 2000 rating, whatever. But just to be decent, you don't need to memorize. And so this eliminates it, but also this prevents again the opening syndrome, where you memorize a bunch of stuff that you don't really get to use because you're memorizing the moves, but you are not understanding the idea behind them. So we want to prevent that, and this plan prevents that. Next is the availability of materials. So openings, if you look at info products like ebooks and stuff and courses, you are much more likely to see openings than any other things out there because there's so many openings. And so by following this plan, which is not prioritizing on openings, you don't have to spend as much just to actually be good, right? Because you don't need to. You don't need that much. You don't need to spend that much in just openings. And this plan just assures you that you don't need to spend money on openings. Because most middle game and end game principles are free nowadays, right? Now, those are the advantages. Let's talk a little bit more about the disadvantages. So first disadvantage is imbalance, right? I mean, this is pretty good when you are still starting to learn. However, there will be a point in time where learning openings is actually not just recommended. It's absolute must if you want to keep up with the competition. And so if you follow this plan indefinitely, then you are slightly missing out on your actual playing strength. So there will be a time, usually, when you get 1900, 1800, or 2000, right? Rating, just to be sure. That is the time where you might need to abandon this, let's say, plan. Another disadvantage is obviously less opening repertoire. So yes, you might win some games here and there, right? Against most opponent, but there will be just someone of equal strength who you just can't beat because they have a much better opening repertoire. So, I mean, but at least in my opinion, the opportunity outweighs the cost, and having this plan, even though you may occasionally lose against someone who is equally as strong with you, is still better than not winning anything at all, right? And that is pretty much it. It's just very interesting because I have been playing chess for a long time. If you may not have noticed, but this is actually I've only heard about this recently, but I intuitively actually already implement this. I don't spend that much time in the opening, and so at the board you might see that I didn't play well, but that's just because I played this game when I was exhausted and I haven't played for a long time. But my actual rating is actually 2000 on rapid on lichess, and I think it's just 1500 on chess.com because I don't play at that platform all that much. And this is the exact plan that I implement, even though I am not aware of it, but I implement it, so it really works. Just think about it. So if you have any thoughts about this idea, 20-40-40 rule, you can feel free to comment below and like this video if you actually like this video, to help it promote to more people. And that is all. Sleep well and play chess.